It is midnight in Eastern Africa. And 11 p.m. in Southern Africa. In Nigeria, it is 10 p.m. Our top stories tonight. Nigeria Supreme Court affirms 5-year jail term for ex-House of Reps member Farouk Lawan over $3 million bribery saga. Rivers State Governor Fubara swears in 9 renominated commissioners. Private jet overshoots runway in Ibadan, Oyo State. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Tonight. I'm Felicity Ezewuike. Our coverage begins with legal proceedings where the Supreme Court has affirmed the 5-year jail term handed to a former member of the House of Representatives, Farouk Lawan, by the Court of Appeal. He was convicted and sentenced to prison in 2021 for accepting $500,000 bribe from businessman Femi Otedola. In a unanimous judgment, a 5-member panel affirmed the 2022 judgment of the Court of Appeal, which upheld Lawan's sentencing to 5 years in respect of only count 3 on the 3-count charge on which he was tried at the Abuja High Court. In the lead judgment prepared by Justice John Okoro but read on Friday by Justice Tijani Abubakar, the Apex Court found that Lawan's appeal was without merit and proceeded to dismiss it.
It's been a long journey from FCT High Court. They went to Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal affirmed the sentence of the FCT High Court on the 3rd count, that he should serve a 5-year term. And that was why he came to Supreme Court. And today, the Supreme Court has affirmed the judgment of Court of Appeal that the 3rd count stands and is convicted on the 3rd count, and he should serve the 5-year term. So there were 3 issues, and the 3 issues were resolved in the favor of the respondent, who is the federal government.
Nigeria National Assembly says that it has commenced the process of amending the nation's Petroleum Industry Act and the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative Act to ensure stronger legislative provisions for a cleaner energy transition. This was made known by the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream during a meeting with officials of the International Extractive Industry and Transparency Initiative in the nation's capital, Abuja, to discuss ways the sector can be further improved. Our correspondent, Edo Joseph, reports.
Leading the delegation to the parliament with a view of advancing transparency and good governance in the extractive industry is the Deputy Executive Director of the Global Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. While receiving the delegation, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream revealed that the process of amending the nation's Extractive Act has commenced, with an intent to ensure that the sector becomes more transparent and the initiative can prosecute persons and companies that infringe on the nation's laws.
We have secured a partnership and support and commitment of over 70 federal lawmakers as would-be co-sponsors for the critical bills which seek to review some provisions of the NETI Act, and which we believe will help to fully realize the objective of NETI, expand and achieve the desired transparency in the extractive industry.
We are not pleased with what we are having. We are not pleased with what we've seen. We need to work and ensure that Nigeria and Nigerians are better off than what we've met. And we feel we should leave a legacy. And we cannot do that alone. We have to do it in partnership with you. We have to work with you. We have to partner to see how our industry and Nigerians will celebrate in the next few, maybe months to come.
While commending Nigeria for its exemplary role in Africa in ensuring transparency and accountability in managing its extractive sector, including continuous engagement with stakeholders since its membership of the international body, the Deputy Executive Director of the EITI says that there are still more areas needing improvements.
So some of these areas of improvement that could be relevant for this body would include the following. The first is how the EITI itself in Nigeria should function, and that is the multi-stakeholder group. Second area of improvement relates to matters related to transparency requirements, such as transparency of contract.
The recent Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative report saw Nigeria score 72 points in implementing the EITI standards, reporting and disclosure of activities in the extractive sector. Nigeria's parliament is promising to review current laws in a bid to ensure that citizens benefit from the nation's natural resources. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the previous year's election, has called on the federal government to provide clarification regarding an emergency loan of $3.3 billion obtained by NNPC Limited. In a personally signed statement, the former vice president expressed concern about the lack of transparency in the handling of the loan by the Tinubu-led administration since its acquisition last year. The loan, intended to be a crude-for-cash arrangement facilitated by the African Export-Import Bank, was aimed at mitigating challenges in the foreign exchange environment. According to Atiku's statement, the deal is orchestrated through a special purpose vehicle named Project Gazelle Funding Limited, incorporated in the Bahamas. In this arrangement, the SPV acts as the borrower, while the NNPC serves as the sponsor, committing to repay the loan with crude oil at a slightly over 12% interest rate. You're watching Nigeria Tonight on News Central. Coming up, Nigeria unveils plan for local vaccine production. We have details after the break. Join us again. If you've just joined us, you're watching Nigeria Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Nigeria Supreme Court affirms 5-year jail term for ex-House of Reps member Farouk Lawan over $3 million bribery saga. Rivers State Governor Fubara swears in 9 renominated commissioners. Private jet overshoots runway in Ibadan, Oyo State. Nigeria's quest to deepen local production of vaccines received a boost on Friday with the launch of the National Plan for Vaccine Research and Development and Local Production. Tunji Alausa, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, said the national plan would serve as a template to guide the end-to-end production of vaccines. He noted that the objective of the plan was to reduce dependence on imported vaccines, outlining it as a comprehensive blueprint for the entire vaccine production process within the country. The national plan, developed through a novel bottom-up approach, resulted from a year-long collaboration between the European Union, the Bulgarian government, and the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development on behalf of the Nigerian government. In politics, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has sworn in 9 renominated commissioners in the state. The swearing-in was conducted at the State Executive Council chambers of the Government House in Port Harcourt on Friday. The commissioners, said to be loyal to the former governor, Ezewuike, earlier resigned their appointment in the heat of the political tussle between Wike and the governor. However, the Rivers State House of Assembly rescreened and reconfirmed the former commissioners as part of the agreements contained in the 8-point agenda following the intervention of President Bola Tinubu in a political feud between Wike and Fubara. Congratulating the commissioners, Fubara urged them to do what is right for the state. The political atmosphere in Edo State is ever-changing, with the latest being the resignation of the Special Advisor on Strategy, Performance and Project Monitoring to the Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, Sarah Ajose-Adeogun. She confirmed her resignation on Thursday in a post on her Facebook page. According to the post, which reads, "I came, I saw, I conquered." Sarah confirmed her exit from service. This development may not be unconnected to the political crisis rocking the outgoing Obaseki-led government. Ajose's resignation came a little over 1 month after former Chief Press Secretary to Obaseki, Andrew Okungbowa, also quit. The outgoing Obaseki-led government is in conflict with his deputy, Philip Schreiber, over succession. Schreiber is interested in succeeding Obaseki, who is believed to be backing a Lagos-based lawyer, Ezewuike. To discuss this, we're joined by Andrew Emwanta, immediate past Commissioner Information, Edo State. Thank you very much for giving us your time. What do you make of the recent resignation of the Special Advisor, Sarah Ajose-Adeogun, and how, in your view, does this impact on the politics in Edo State, especially as the elections draw near?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. That's a question that even while here in Accra is still agitating my mind, because when I saw that story on Nation newspaper, the online version, I was not surprised, because I know that we have always had this cat and mouse game, and unfortunately, Sarah is one of the very brilliant and bright minds of that particular government. She is actually the brain boss of that government, and the reasons that were adduced for her resignation are issues that have always been there. Like, I know the Nation cited, the fact that, and I think other media platforms cited the fact that, there were some internal wranglings, particularly between her and the Chief of Staff, because I'm aware that Osagbovo, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, I think was this sometime last year or the other year, went to her office to shut the place down. The reason they gave us that she was in the same flat with the Governor. I think one of the Governor's security details needed the seat, and they felt that she was supposed to vacate it even when she was not approached. And because of that, her office as a special advisor and a member of ESCO was closed for, about 3 to 4 days. It took the intervention of the Governor, and that particular act was not done without the permission of the Governor. And unfortunately, she had to throw in the towel. Why? Because she was seen as a threat. Her office coordinated the activities around the civil service transformation, but there were some consultants that were going after her. And unfortunately, the Governor now, from what we were told, that after she resigned, the Governor told her to hand over to the same consultant. This is one government that operates with consultants, and the moment you cross their path, it becomes a treasonable offense. So it was a good thing she did by resigning, and it's very unfortunate. It came at a time when the Governor had to evict everybody from the Government House chapel. That's the same chapel the Deputy Governor normally goes for Tuesday services. And unfortunately, it is only during the time we had military regimes in our country we had this kind of experience. A situation where a Deputy Governor is prevented from entering his office, is even deprived of his right to freedom of worship.
Okay, I would say for the sake
to have access to his office, the same place of worship that has become the only place of solace for the deputy, the Governor has shut it down under the name and style of, they want to renovate the place.
Okay, I would quickly add here, excuse me, sir, I will quickly add here for the sake of our viewers that you mentioned consultants, but no name was given. And this is, I don't know if you have evidence or confirmation of some of the allegations, that's what I'm going to say, that you have made on air right now. But while you mule on that, I'd like you to, collate some of these events and just look at the recent resignation. We have this one from Sarah and the previous one from Andrew, that's the former CPS. Do you see maybe a pattern emerging in the departures from Governor Godwin Obaseki's administration? And what possible implications might there be for the stability of governance in the interim?
The truth is, you look at the spate of resignations. We've had a situation where the Chief of Staff to the Governor, my friend Tawo Akil, really had to resign. We've had a case where many commissioners resigned. I was able to resign at some point, but They prevailed on me, including the first lady. Through a phone call, she appealed to me because there was a day I felt it was no longer necessary for me to continue with a government that does not respect the rule of law, that does not respect democracy. They had youth council elections. Somebody emerged since November. Then in April, close to the elections, you wanted me to remove the person when I was not the one that elected the person, when the person was elected through a Congress. And I told the first lady that I cannot do that. And when they became rude to me, I told my permanent secretary I was resigning. She had to put a call, the first lady put a call across to me, appealing to me. And that was why I took down that decision not to resign. And I regret not resigning. And I tell you that on the eve of when ESCO was dissolved, we had State Tenders Board meeting. This same consultant that is having a running battle with Sarah wanted us to approve a request of 1.7 billion naira to get a software that would last for less than 1 year. And I gave a condition that until Governor tells me why 1.7 billion naira of Edo taxpayers' money should be wasted on the software, I would not give my approval. The following day, the governor dissolved his ESCO, along with this youth council issue. And on the day the ESCO was dissolved, a commissioner resigned. His name is Jonathan Lawani, but nobody will know that there was a person who resigned. Before that time, the commissioner for finance had resigned. Why? Because of the profligacy, the lack of due process, the lack of following procurement laws. And I think what Sarah has resigned for is something that borders on integrity, because she has always insisted that you cannot be paying billions to consultants when you have public servants who can do the same job. And for me, it's freedom for her. And that's why she said in her post on Facebook, I came, I saw, and I conquered, because she has conquered corruption in the Obaseki government. And I think that is where the EFCC must come in now, to start asking questions, to start looking at the books, because they don't taxpayers' money go into private pockets.
It's one thing to call on the EFCC to come in, but has there been any formal application or request or petition to the EFCC in regards of some of the allegations that you are making? We don't know that for sure. But let's take another angle of the conversation. There's been this succession dynamics between the deputy and the governor. How might Philip Chukwuemeka expressing interest in the governorship race influence the political landscape as it is? And what potential challenges could arise from this situation? Is it even playing into some of the resignation we're seeing now?
Yeah, thank you. The deputy governor, I think the problem he has with the governor is that he has an ambition, and that ambition is to become governor of Edo State. And, whether he will be able to achieve that under PDP, because the governor has made it impossible for him to breathe in government and even within the party. That is their own problem. I'm a member of the APC. I don't know so much of how that will play out. But what we are saying is that we operate a democracy, a situation where you evicted your deputy governor from government house, not done because he comes there every Tuesday for church service. You have closed down the chapel under the name and style of you want to renovate the place. And how much are they saying they want to use in renovating that place? Over 300 million. That is the height of corruption. Don't we have a system to check some of all these excesses?
Before you
spend 300 million.
Andrew, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you.
Small chapel.
Andrew, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you, but we need to carry our viewers along. I want you to tell us a little bit about the government house chapel. Is there any update? What exactly is the situation there, so that people can follow your submissions?
Let me explain one thing. The deputy governor's office was shut down. They prevented him from having access to government house. The governor stopped having physical ESCO meetings since last year. For the past 4 months, they've not had physical ESCO meetings. The last ESCO meeting they had was in Lagos, and they didn't invite the deputy governor, right? And they now claim, they do Zoom meetings. They have reduced governance to child's play. But because the deputy governor comes to government house once a week to attend the Tuesday chapel service, to prevent him from entering the government house, they now have to shut down the chapel. And the governor claims he's renovating. If you are renovating a place, must you close down the place completely? Did the governor's office, at some point, even the deputy governor's office, was it not subject to renovation? Did they close governance completely? So I think this is one government that is so irresponsible. That is the same way they closed the House of Assembly for 4 good years under the name and style of renovation. And that is true because it's a government of innovation. All the projects Obaseki has carried out in the past 7 years are renovations. There's nothing he starts from the scratch. Everything is renovation. with billions of taxpayers' money. So for us, I think it is a time for Edo people to start asking questions, using the use of consultants. The person he's supporting, Ezewuike, is one of the consultants of the Edo State government. And I want to be quoted. Is it right for one of his consultants to say he wants to succeed Obaseki? We are tired of this government of consultancy. We have bad roads everywhere. My local government has the best network of bad roads. Evotubu Road is in terrible state. It cuts across the entire state. You are traveling from Abuja to Benin. You don't have any inner roads you can use to bypass that bad federal road. Is it not
you
the
were
duty of the state government to ensure that we have good roads in Edo State?
How long ago did you leave government? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. You're almost out of time, but you were once in that administration. What did you do to help push this conversation about improving infrastructure in the time that you were there?
I insisted on a particular day when I noticed that the governor went to a place to campaign in Welu precisely, and they almost stoned him. I went there because that's my local government. The people cried, and I went back to government house and insisted that they should do something about that route. I met the SSG. They gave me a word of commitment that they'll do palliatives. Between then and now, they are still struggling to fix that road. And the reason why I resigned was that they refused to fix the roads in my local government. And I stated that in my letter of resignation. And I don't think it is proper for you to be in a government that has failed to bring development to your people, and you remain in that government. And that was why I exited the government, and I left PDP, because PDP refused to call the governor to order.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much for speaking with us. We do pray that things settle down in Edo State.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Let's cross over to Delta State, where the Federal Road Safety Corps has come under public scrutiny after a video emerged online where the operation of the Corps left a sour taste in the mouths of motorists. Austin Azu tells us more.
This is Asaba Road Safety Office this early morning. You can see what the road safety just did to this bus by crossing the road on highway along the express, and there were children. You can see children.
Some officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Delta State Command, said to have flagged down a vehicle in motion as a cover to stop other vehicle said to be on high speed. The video had gone viral on social media, eliciting reactions.
Using the screwdriver to shoot the driver in his face. You can see what they did to the young man. You can see the damage they did to this young man. You can see how they beat him up.
Some commercial drivers, however, shared their experiences with conduct of the Federal Road Safety Corps, especially on the highways.
But some teams will come, they will do their work very well and sound, no traffic, no problem. Some team will come, they will carry the problem on their head. They must cause problem one to the other.
So some of the road safety uniform man, they know their work very well. So some of them, they can do, let me just get this. Some of them have some money, some of them are for the work.
But these journalists shared their experiences in the hands of FRSC operatives on the highway. The call for regular mental health check for officials on highways whose state of mind could directly connect to safety of road users.
Another vehicle that was following me almost hit me at the back. So I now decided to swap to my left so that I will not hit the one they were blocking. Meanwhile, the one that was coming behind me was on top speed, and narrowly, it was just God that saved us that day.
They abruptly stopped my vehicle, not minding whether there were other vehicles behind me. And definitely I was doing like 100, 120. To suddenly stop a motorist when there are vehicles behind, it becomes a recipe for disaster.
Sector Commander of the FRSC in Delta State said the Corps has ordered the immediate recall of the patrol team captured in the video clip. While condemning the action of the officers, he stated that it was a breach of the FRSC procedures for officers on patrol duties.
The Corps is against such actions. We are road safety. We are not to cause crashes on the road. And that is why the command has taken a stand, and those teams have been recalled to the command, and disciplinary procedure is already initiated.
As a reminder, the mandate of the Federal Road Safety Corps include preventing or minimizing accidents on the highway, clearing obstructions on any parts of the highways, educating drivers, motorists and other members of the public, generally on the proper use of the highways, designing and producing the driver's license to be used by various categories of vehicle operators. In Asaba for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
The Abia State government has presented a staff of office to Prince Chukwuemeka O as the new traditional ruler of Ezewuike Okigbo Kingdom. Prince Oji was reportedly crowned today, Friday, 27th, and few hours later was handed the staff of office by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Uzo Nwachukwu, at his office. The state government also earlier on Friday announced the removal of the kingmaker, Eze Dr. Kanu Nwakanu, Eze Ibom-Isi, for alleged misconduct and declared his seat vacant. The Eze Ibom-Isi in October 2023 crowned Prince Oji's cousin, Prince Godwin Obaseki, as the Eze Aro. This situation did not go down well with the state government, which set up an inquisition into the matter. Some of the recommendations of the Board of Inquiry are that the Eze Ibom-Isi be sanctioned and the coronation of Godwin Kanu voided. Prince Oji was said to have been crowned today by the government.
It is my desire that we will live in unity and that we will maintain absolute balance in everything we do and that we pursue in the kingdom. And that Arochukwu will become a model of what traditional Igbo leadership represents. My grandfather used to say, "Na anagachi awachi, aneso aweso," which means servant leadership. It's a renaissance for Arochukwu Kingdom. In all the places where we have taken the back seat, we are saying to our government that Arochukwu will step up to the front seat.
Initially there were issues and there were factions, but then a panel of inquiry was set up by government and they gave their recommendations, upon which the government issued a white paper, and then based on that white paper, they were asked to go and do the right things, which they have done, and the government has also put a seal of approval on that which the people did. I want to reiterate for the uptenth time, the government had no hand in the process of the selection of Ezaro, but what the government has always insisted will be that the people follow the processes as documented in the constitution that we have here with us that guides the autonomous community.
To security matters now, several arms and ammunition have been recovered from a group of irate youths who tried to attack Air Force personnel deployed to restore law and order to troubled areas of Mangu local government area in Nigeria's north-central state of Plateau. The Media and Information Officer of Operation Safe Haven, who made this known in a press statement in Jos, the state capital, says that the youths have been arrested. News Center's Chizoba Aniowe takes it up from here.
This development is coming on the third day following violent attacks and reprisal attacks in several parts of Mangu local government area of Plateau State, with many feared dead and property worth millions of naira destroyed. The Operation Safe Haven, saddled with restoring and enforcing peace on the troubled Plateau, describes the incidents which occurred in the Panyam district of Mangu local government area of the state as condemnable and an act of aggression. The incident saw youths launching an attack on troops from the Nigerian Air Force deployed to maintain peace and order during the curfew. The Media and Information Officer of Operation Safe Haven says that the attack is regrettable as it poses an escalation of the conflict and is a significant threat to the safety of both the military personnel attacked and the community at large. He adds that the attack undermines efforts aimed at restoring peace and stability to the entire community. The weapons seized from the youth include one AK-47 rifle, 4 locally fabricated automatic rifles, 1 locally made mortar bomb launcher, 7 empty shells of 7.62 mm, amongst others. In Jos for News Central, I am Chizoba Anionwe.
The Lagos chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Mr. Philip Ivoji, has been kidnapped by unknown gunmen. The incident happened along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. According to unconfirmed reports, the abductors demanded for 200 million naira ransom. He was kidnapped at the Ogere area of the road while coming from the PDP Southwest Zonal meeting held in Ibadan yesterday. Another member of the Lagos State PDP executive, who was said to have escaped, is receiving treatment at an undisclosed hospital. Meanwhile, Dr. Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran, the governorship candidate of the Lagos PDP in the 2023 general elections, has expressed shock over the incident. Dr. Adediran described the unfortunate incident as a disturbing dimension to the growing insecurity in the country, especially in the southwest. Operatives of the Special Intervention Squad, Federal Capital Territory Police Command, have neutralized 3 notorious bandits in a forest within the Buari area of Abuja. The bandits were killed in the early hours of Friday at about 2 a.m. local time in a forest linking Abuja to Kaduna. Among the 3 bandits killed was their gang leader, Mai Gemu, popularly known as Godara, who alongside his gang members have been terrorizing the FCT and neighboring states. The Force Public Relations Officer revealed the development in Abuja on Friday during the parade of about 20 criminal suspects arrested for various offenses across the country. According to him, they have recorded another significant strides towards fortifying the security landscape in the capital following the recent launch of the Special Intervention Squad under the command of the Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetoku. You're watching Nigeria Tonight. Still to come. Lagos court sentences Feyi Daniels to life imprisonment. Details shortly. Thank you for staying with us to Election Matters. Professor Atahiru Jega, a former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, says the electoral umpire owes Nigerians an explanation regarding the failure of the Commission's result viewing portal, IREV, on the bimodal voter registration systems, BVAS, during the 2023 general elections. The former vice-chancellor of Bayero University, Kano, blamed desperate politicians for allegedly infiltrating the 2 technological systems introduced by INEC for the accreditation and electronic transmission of votes in the last elections. At the February 2023 presidential and National Assembly polls, opposition parties complained bitterly that INEC officials at the polling units were unable to upload election results electronically to the IREV, as stipulated by Section 60 of the Electoral Act 2022. The parties kicked against the manual collation of results and the announcement of winners in the polls. Let's also tell you that logistic materials have been destroyed, as fire gutted the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC office, Ibadan Southeast Local Government, Oyo State. The incident occurred around 10:30 a.m. local time on Friday. This was confirmed in a statement issued in Ibadan by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Adeniro Tella. The REC stated that the cause of the fire was yet to be ascertained, but was assumed to have been triggered off by a power surge. He also stated that no life was lost, adding that only logistic materials got burnt. Taylor added that the incident had no effect on the Saki West State Constituency rerun election coming up on February 3. Away from that, a private jet having about 10 persons on board has overshot the Ibadan Airport runway in the Oyo State capital. The jet, we understand, was carrying very important personalities, VIPs. According to sources, the incident happened on Friday around 11 a.m. local time at the Samuel Ladoke Akintola Airport. The jet, with registration number N580KR, missed the runway and skidded into the nearby bush. Firefighters and rescue officials from the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, were immediately deployed to the scene, but there was no death or casualty recorded. Spokesperson for the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Sarah Ajose-Adeogun, told journalists that it was a private plane from Abuja. It landed safely, but overshot the runway, adding that there was no casualty. Let's also tell you that a Lagos Sexual and Domestic Violence Court has sentenced the founder of INEC Christian Ministry to life imprisonment on Friday for raping a church member. Founder Feyi Daniels was found guilty of rape and sexual assault by Judge Rahman Oshodi for crimes committed against a female worshipper at the Lagos-based ministry. More in Ni Omoni's report.
The Lagos State government arraigned Bishop Oluwafeyi Daniel before the Sexual Offence Court on a 4-count charge of rape contrary to Section 260, subsection 2 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015. The state claimed that the defendant, the founder of INEC Christian Ministry, allegedly committed the offences sometime in June 2020 at Ikota Villa Estate, Lekki, Lagos.
Whether you freeze my accounts or you pay bloggers to speak against me or to write in newspaper, the counsel of Jehovah will stand.
The court found Bishop Daniel guilty and sentenced him to life imprisonment on the first count of rape and 3 years imprisonment on the third count.
The court found him guilty of the fourth count charge against the first complainant. They found him guilty of rape. That carried a life sentence. But the court, in its wisdom, said that the prosecution did not establish enough evidence in the second count of rape against the second complainant. But the court further went to find him guilty of sexual assault against the third complainant, but did not find him guilty of attempted rape.
We want to say thank you to Lagos State government for saying no and zero tolerance to any form of gender-based violence. Today is landmark. This is a victory we didn't see coming. We knew we were going to have victory, but we didn't know it was going to be like this.
This sentencing comes at a time when more church leaders and pastors are being accused of sexual abuse.
It has also told survivors who have been brutalized, who have been, have one way or the other been victimized and traumatized by men of the cloth, that they have a voice and that when they talk, we'll listen.
Justice has been served, and this is giving us joy that we can still rely on the justice system of Nigeria. In my own case, and I think that is the only regret I will be having in my life, that I didn't take TB Joshua to court because I was not well guided.
As a man, I'm ashamed that we still have men who feel they can rape women, they can sexually assault women, and nothing will happen. Because see, if you know that the lady you're about to mess up with, if you know this will happen to you, you won't dare.
Sexual rights activists believe the position of trust and authority that clergy hold makes these crimes particularly shocking and deserving of serious consequences. The sentencing of Bishop Daniel is seen as a warning for would-be offenders that sexual crimes will not be tolerated, even for those in leadership positions. The expectation is that all institutions must work to ensure a safe environment for citizens. In Lagos for News Central, Ni Omani.
We're staying in Lagos, where the state government on Sunday announced a ban on the usage and distribution of Styrofoam and other single-use plastics in the state with immediate effect. A statement signed by the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, said the decision was reached following the menace that single-use plastics, especially the non-biodegradable Styrofoam, was causing on the environment. Bettina Uwele reports.
The Lagos State government's recent move to impose a ban on the use of Styrofoam is generating reactions. highlighting the complexities of environmental regulations in metropolitan regions.
I don't feel happy at all. I feel bad because there's some people that is only what they sell. If they stop it, how are they going to make their livelihood living?
It's very, very okay because it's causing a lot of dirty around. People don't keep them. As soon as they use them, they don't dispose them properly.
Me personally, I'm not feel happy. Actually, if we stop it, where are we going to start? Because some of us, that is where we'll eat in our family. So government or states, whatever, they will know what to do to stop people that are using it along the road to sell.
Styrofoam, also recognized as expanded polystyrene, has served as a widely used packaging material for many years, owing to its lightweight and effective insulation properties. Foamed polystyrene is made into insulation, packaging, and food containers such as beverage cups, egg cartons, and disposable plates and trays.
It contains some chemicals that are carcinogenic, and these can, cause cancer and other health-associated risks. When it comes to styrofoam, it is long overdue for the ban.
Over the last few decades, there have been multiple debates about whether plastic foam, also known as polystyrene, is biodegradable or not. From start to finish, plastic foam production relies on harsh chemicals.
Now that the styrofoam has been banned, so you're going to think outside the box, invest in your R&D research, and also help bring innovative solutions, innovative and sustainable packaging material. So we also have, as part of alternative, you don't want to eat in or bring your own plates. You can also purchase their bamboo products that are made from bamboo material, really. So you can also use bamboo plates, you can use your stainless plates, so there are actually many, even paper plates. There are some paper plates that are actually very biodegradable and eco-friendly, so you can also use that as an alternative to using styrofoam.
While the jury may be out for an exact amount of time, the unsettling truth is that polystyrene does not decompose. It's not a question about how long it takes, but rather about understanding just how dangerous the cycle of plastic foam is. In Lagos for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Let's now join our sports desk for the latest in the world of sports.
In the world of sport, Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro has revealed his team's approach against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon on Saturday is to defend as a unit, while being clinical in front of opposition goal. The Geffrars said this on Friday in Abidjan at a pre-match press conference ahead of the epic clash. The coach said the most important thing at this stage was to win and advance to the quarter-final stage. He expressed optimism that the team's goal poacher and Napoli hitman Victor Osimhen will start firing again from the knockout stage.
I said at least one goal. At least one goal is different. You want to defend well and you want to attack well, together, like a team. For me, it's an honor and pleasure to be in the match tomorrow. A historic match. Before I came here, I saw many matches in the Africa competition. And the match Cameroon-Nigeria. I'm an happy guy because tomorrow I can take this pressure, stay like a coach in this match.
The Portuguese tactician also dispelled rumours on the rift with Leicester City forward Kelechi Iheanacho, who has not featured in the tournament owing to early injury.
We recover along our camping, you know that? We arrive in the night 4:30, you know that? You start to work with us, with collective work, one day after. Is the reason. Understand? One player come and recover, and the coach, and the team, and the medical staff need to manage, foresee is fit or not, is ready or not. It's clear, easy.
The way we used to approach every game. Cameroon, we all know they are good, they are strong. Likewise us. Of course, I have a teammate there. I know him. I know his weak point. I know his strength. So we'll just take the game the way it is, because our goal is to win.
Nigeria and Cameroon will clash in a blockbuster round of 16 tie slated for the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, Abidjan, at the ongoing 2023 African Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Former Super Eagles manager Gennett Rohr believes that his former Chargers will beat Cameroon in their highly anticipated round of 16 showdown at the African Cup of Nations. The German was appointed in August 2016 and coached the Super Eagles for 5 years before he was relieved of his duty in December 2021. Despite qualifying for the 2021 African Cup of Nations as well as the 2022 FIFA World Cup playoffs. Rohr was also in charge of the last time Super Eagles defeated the indomitable Lions at the African Cup of Nations, when 2 goals from Ojoni Gallo and Alex Iwobi winner gave the Eagles a 3-2 win in 2019 in Alexandria, Egypt. Speaking to international sport journalist Osasu Obaiwana, Rohr said he believes that the Super Eagles are more than capable of beating the old rivals.
Most of the players, I know them very well in Nigeria, they can do it and they have it. And they have now the best player in Africa, so I'm sure that they will qualify. I'm sure. I hope for them. Will be difficult, of course, because now Cameroon is becoming strong again with this victory against Gambia in the last minutes. But they still have little defensive problems. They have problems inside the group, the goalkeeper, the relationships. And Nigeria must avoid all these problems and have together the volunteer to go there in a big solidarity, and then I think they can do it.
Finally, in the world of sports, Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) have moved up in the rankings of Men's Football League in Africa by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics. Nigeria was rated 77 globally in 2022 after the inception of Gbenga Egbeleye-led Interim Management Committee (IMC). They moved 2 steps up in 2023 to rate as Africa's 7th best and 4 steps to 73 globally for 2024. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaro.
And that's all on Nigeria tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the big stories. Nigeria Supreme Court affirms a 5-year jail term for ex-House of Reps member Farouk Lawan over $3 million bribery saga. Rivers State Governor Fubara has sworn in 9 renominated commissioners. We also told you that a private jet has overshot the runway in Ibadan, Oyo State. Do send us your eyewitness reports to the number showing now on your screen, or you could follow us on social media at News Central TV. We're live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.